The gender wage gap says that on average, women are paid less than men. Now, why exactly is that? Is it because women don't work as hard as men and therefore deserve to be paid less? Or is it that companies engage in discriminatory practices where they just choose to pay women less? Well, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, and I get into it on this video, right? Welcome to my channel. My name is Snetemba Veni, and I like to discuss difficult and uncomfortable topics. If this is your first time here, stick around, see if you like the videos, and click like and subscribe if you do. If this is not your first time coming here, welcome back. What exactly is the pay gap, right? Depending on which country you're in, this value changes. In some countries, it's $1 to around 70 cents. In some countries, $1 to around 60 cents even. In some countries, it's $1 to around 90 cents. Now, it means that, say for example, I'm a woman and someone else is a man, and they make $100,000 a year for the same job that I'm doing. I would make around $70,000 a year, right? And this value changes within countries, right? So for example, smaller countries like Scandinavia would have a pay gap of say around $1 to 90 cents, and then a country like the US would have $1 to 70 cents. Now, why is that different? I'm going to try and explain this using an example, right? We know that fields that pay a lot of money like finance, law, consulting reward you working long periods of hours, reward you sort of dedicating yourself to your work, to your careers, to getting a promotion, to getting clients. So I'm gonna make an example about consulting because I worked in consulting for a year. Say me and another man who's a male, same age, same qualification, joined consulting at the same year, say at the age of 26, right? And we both work for 4 years, we both work the same amount of hours, and because it's literally illegal for companies to pay us differently, they would pay us the same, obviously, right? Moving in. It's not that companies are discriminatory, right? So we're gonna get paid the same amount of money. Now, because I don't have a child at this point, I can just work as many hours as I want. So can he. We are both in the same field and we're both competing for the same position, like a higher position, and we both want a bonus. We work, and then we get to a point where I turn 30 and he also turns 30. Now, I decide to have children, right? Because for whatever reason, right? There are many reasons why people want to have children, but I decide to have a child. Now, this means that I won't be in the office that much. And depending on which country I am in, this will have varying consequences. Say if, for example, I'm in the US is known for not having sort of the laws that align with women having kids. For example, they don't have a well-paid maternity leave. There's a lot of research around that. You can check it out. If I'm in the US, then I know that I won't get maternity leave. I might decide to just stay at home for a few years and raise my child, right? Because if like the maternity leave is, say for example, 3 weeks, so there's nothing that I can do for 3 weeks. Then I might decide to take a break and just look after my child. Now, what does this mean? I am stagnant now, and the person that I joined with is moving forward into their career. They still are clocking the same hours, even more. They still are improving in their skills. They still are building, connections. They still are building that network at work. And while I'm at home looking after the kids, because there are no laws that allow me to do so and still work, right? There is no way that me and this person then are gonna end up making the same amount of money, because if I'm away for 2 years, they would have made so much vacation. When I come back, I need to come back in the same position. Then that is just going to widen the gap. However, if I was, say, in the country that had laws that sort of align with women having kids, then what they would say is you can get around, say, 6 months to a year of paid child leave, paid maternity leave, right? What does that mean? It means that I can still be at home and look after my child without feeling guilty and still get paid the same amount. So the money that I'm making is still increasing, but I'm at home looking after the kids, because there's literally nothing you can do about it. You can't expect women just to abandon their kids and just go to work because of the amount of money that they could possibly make. Now, I will caveat with this. I don't have a child right now, right? So I cannot say that I relate to how women feel when they have to decide whether or not to go to work or stay at home. But I think it is widely understood and widely known that women really do struggle when they have kids, right? They document this. I've watched podcasts around this, and they say that they sort of feel guilty when they leave their child at home. It's like this deep guilt feeling, guilty. You're guilt conscious. Essentially, it's just, what are you doing? You're leaving this child at home. You know what I mean? And I think it's a little bit cruel to expect them to make a decision between their career and their child. What is the solution here? Are we saying that women should just, if they want to be career women and like make a lot of money and be CEOs, be in executive positions, that they shouldn't have kids? Are we saying that if they do have kids, when they come back, they're going to have to work 3 times as hard and not be as at home raising their kids? What is the solution here? Because that can't be the solution. No one wants to live in a world where a woman has to choose whether or not to have kids or have a career. That's, you know what I mean? I think the solution is labor laws. I think the solution should be fighting for labor laws that allow women to still be at work and raise their kids. And if you live in a country that does that very well, you can please comment below. And that is beautiful, because that's what we need. We need laws that allow women to work and raise kids. The solution cannot be, oh, just stop having kids, because women have kids with men. You know what I mean? If I have a child with a guy, why should his career progress and mine be stagnant? You know what I mean? I think the solution, and there are countries, although it's not a perfect system, there are countries, especially, I think Norway and Denmark are doing this very well, in that they sort of have these laws around, and their gender wage gap is way smaller than the other countries like the US and other Asian countries. I think that's the world we should be moving towards, and I'm looking forward to all of that, and I think it's going to happen. I'm very hopeful. Well, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.